I don't know if that's a necessity or not. I want to say that's not a necessity. So if you raise the price on it, demand would go down, but can you explain what is economics to deep down my knowledge of it? Can you explain what, to honestly though, Cloud, to like really look in. Sure. I mean, the way I would describe it is study circulation of policies, money supply, theories, like the many different theories of economics, a system to allow for trade. I like data too. However, alcohol is not, I don't know what that's saying. Where are you from? I'm from the US. Sugar biologically is necessary, but not like granulated sugar. So a necessity would be like bread or like, yeah, a necessity is bread, I think. There has to be some versions of food that are like necessities. Like a chocolate bar is not a necessity that I think would be considered a luxury good to most people. Sorry, I'm sitting on the ledge of my bed. Other necessities like water, bills, you know, those come first when people have to pay. Thanks. Listen, like I'm trying my best to answer these. If I'm wrong, call me out. I'm happy to be wrong. I want to learn. I want to make sure that I'm speaking correctly. So if you disagree with me, please tell me. Yeah, I'm gonna get some water. So, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna look into getting ready. So I'll put you like right here, maybe. We'll go right here. Whoa, there's 90 people in here. I don't know why. Are people loving my economics? Maybe I'll just sit back right here and keep doing it, actually. New Mexico is part of the US. That is true. Processed foods and added supplements to make cuts on production are the problem. What are you talking about? In context to what? I am 21. Guys, ask economics questions. I'm from the United States. I'm from all coasts. 25 is still considered full adult because that's when your brain develops fully. Scientifically. So I have to be somewhere at 12. So I'll give myself about 10, 15, 20 more minutes on here. Too far. Guys, ask economics questions if you have a question about any type of economic factor. I'm here. Hey, Rion Hidayat. Thank you for that. Let me give you a follow. How are you? I'm fantastic. How are you? Let me give you a follow. Thank you so much for that. I'm fantastic. Hola. Guys, ask economics questions. There's a lot of people on here. Oh my god. Am I saying your name right? Rion, Ryan? You tell me. In times of crisis. How to increase economic stability in times of crisis. In times of crisis. How do we solve? Okay. How do we increase economic stability in times of crisis? first of all, reduce your spending on things that are not necessities. If you're considering buying something like a chocolate bar or a new game, don't buy that. If you invest in stocks, don't worry about the stocks dropping. If you can afford it, try and average your costs down as it falls. You buy all that, shame. Wait, so am I saying your name right, Rion? Because I want to thank you for all this. This is so kind of you. Oh my god. Rion? Oh my god. Dude. Holy moly. Oops, I just sent someone an invitation. Oops. So how do we solve inflation and the housing costs? So usually what's supposed to combat inflation is the Federal Reserve. However, I remember when I took a class on monetary and banking, someone who knew someone that worked in the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the branch. It's not part of the government, if you didn't know that. The Federal Reserve is a separate entity, separate from the United States government, that controls and facilitates monetary policy, which has to do with interest rates. And I remember somebody had mentioned that someone from the Federal Reserve had said that inflation is not going to go down. Like, this is what they wanted it to be, and that it would get 2% higher each time or something like that. Or like that houses would be the cheapest that they were. And this was a couple years ago, I will say, but usually what's supposed to happen is that if inflation is rising or if a recession is happening, the Federal Reserve is supposed to change the interest rates to either increase borrowing and spending or to decrease borrowing and spending, depending on the interest rate levels. Would love for you to... Don't spend money on things that are necessary when already overpriced. Don't spend money on things that are not necessary. Spend money on food. Try and save as much money as you can. Because honestly, if a recession does happen, what happens is the wealth gap expands because people who can afford to buy those stocks at a discount are buying those stocks at a discount. Meanwhile, the people that can't are like put years behind. So if you have money right now, if you have a job, save your money. Don't spend it on things that are unnecessary. It's for your benefit, because if we do enter like an actual recession where people are admitting that there's a recession, even though right now we're like coasting down, right now nobody's really admitting that we're coasting into a recession. So if you have a job and you're making money, don't spend money that you can't spend, because like I just said, when a recession does happen, the wealth gap widens because people that can afford to buy those stocks will buy those stocks at a discount. And then they'll make money when it goes back up, because the stock market